What up, Dokkaners? Something big is coming to Dokkan, and no, it is not going to be happening during the Global Dokkan Celebration. We got some pretty big stuff happening during the Global Dokkan Celebration, but something massive is coming afterwards. So today we're going to be discussing this little snippet that was dropped in-game last night. You guys might have seen this, might not have thought too much of it, but this, to me, is huge. And I think a lot of people are already starting to take this as something huge that is coming up. And it is not just going to be a simple data download or a simple case of dropping new characters. No. We could be looking at something major. The future of Dokkan hangs in the balance. We could be looking at a fundamental change to the game in some serious ways. So let's go ahead and discuss here. Pure speculation. We're going to talk about some things that we've discussed in the past, some things you might have forgotten about. But at this juncture, it is all speculation because we have nothing more than just this. So this all boils down to these two statements right here. So dear player, thank you for playing, blah, blah, blah. System updates are scheduled to be conducted during the version update planned for mid-August. After the version update, some devices may experience slower app performance. We sincerely, blah, 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 blah. We don't care. This right here is unprecedented. We've never seen phrasing like this before when it comes to future updates or any sort of change coming to the game. This is the first time we have seen anything phrased in such a way. That is significant. So first off, let's break this down. Mid-August. So that places this destination point after the end of the Global Dokkan Celebration. At the moment, the end of the Global Dokkan Celebration is August 11th, but since this is an anniversary caliber celebration, a lot of people, myself included, are thinking that there could be a part EX that happens, so maybe that gets delayed by a week. Let's just say the 18th. Also, the 18th happens to be when all of the exchangeable items and currencies also expire. So that would, in my opinion, effectively be the true end of the Global Dokkan Celebration, August 18th. So we will label that as mid-August. Mid-August is also not where the Tanabata Celebration successor is going to be. Don't forget, we have this graphic here. They've made some changes. The JP anniversary now is called Dokkan Supreme. The global anniversary fused with the worldwide celebration in the slot of the JP Tanabata has now become the Global Dokkan campaign. And now the Tanabata celebration that was supposed to release in July is now set to release as a new name in September. So between the end of the Global Dokkan Celebration and September, we've still got a little bit of space. So here's what I think is likely going to happen. After the end of the Global Dokkan Celebration, we could say that that's going to be on the 11th. Maybe the EX part extends it, but even still, I think there would probably be a new Dokkan Festival or something that happens around there. So this would go from August 11th to the 25th because that's basically 2 weeks. That's the golden rule. Any part of any celebration is at least 2 weeks or around there. So August 11th to August 25th, part 1 Dokkan Festival or something. We could just say placeholder, okay? Then from August 25th to September 7th, which is another 2 weeks, we have the part 2 legendary. It could be another Dokkan Festival, who knows? Another filler celebration happening here. After that, we've got some interesting things happening because now we are officially in September. So this now comes back. Remember, this celebration started early July. So we were in the month when we actually started it. We are now in the month of September as we consider when Tanabata is going to be starting. There is a community event happening on the 6th. So I made a video on this a couple days ago talking about how the Community Fest 2025 is going to be happening September 6th. So once again, friendly reminder, apply by July 25th. This is only available to US residents only. Don't kill the messenger. This is just what they decided to do. So this is going to be where they are going to provide some like demo content for players exclusively for the 150 people that are chosen. And we'll get to see some cool stuff. We'll get some unique rewards and things like that. But this is probably going to be where they announce the Tanabata theme, where they show whatever the new features are that are going to be coming up during that celebration, and so on and so forth. And then just a couple days later, we would jump into the Tanabata celebration. So with that said, if they're going to be starting early September for this, then this new system update, app update, whatever, has to be rolled out and taken care of properly well before this actually starts. So mid-August gives us plenty of time to go through 2 filler celebrations before then getting into the Tanabata celebration. That's what this means. That is not a simple case of, hey, let me just throw in a bunch of assets for a character. When I think of a game slowing down or Dokkan slowing down because of things like that, I'm reminded of the 6th anniversary. Back during the 6th anniversary, when LR Int Royal Blue Vegeta first came out, he wreaked havoc on our devices because his overall animation for the 18 key super is so extensive. I think it still holds the record for the most amount of sprite sheets or asset sheets or pages or something in the game. It actually would take the device like a full-on second to then play the animation. So you'd normally go through the usual flow of combat in Dokkan, but then it would just like pause for a full-on second to play those animations. That's what I think of. I think this is gonna be something way more than that. Just a simple visual extension, I don't think would warrant something like this. And like when you think of Daima, like the Super Saiyan 4 transformation sequence, yeah, that's pretty crazy. But there's also a change that they're making to the animation process. So let me go ahead and let me just continue here because I want to talk about what Proton told me. So let's see here. Rick, he says expected. We're finally getting closer to an update, 6.00 update. That's basically like we've been in the 5.0 family. So anytime you jump up a digit on like the primary part here, that means it's going to be something major. Okay. Time to see what Dokkan 2 really means. Proton chimed in here. He talked about a 3 active skill thing. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, just to remind everybody, there was something that they did back in May on the JP side. We are looking for participants to join test plays for future developments. So this also, they talked about like experimental stuff recently in a video. They're very clearly trying to make some new things happen for the future of the game. They also had, I think it was now last year, a year and a half ago, they held closed interviews in Los Angeles for people who play the game to get their feedback and their ideas on potential things that are going to be happening down the road. So there are some changes that are going to be happening. This is probably going to be the first time that they implement some of these things. So now let me pull up what Proton was talking about here. Proton, let me pull up this. So we were talking about it a little bit. So let me just read some of the stuff that he told me. They're implementing videos for animation. So we talked about this before. We had an update a while ago where they're adding a flag in the effects table to distinguish where animations were videos or not. We have 0 so far. So basically TLDR, they are finding a way to streamline and optimize the animation playing process. Up until now, it's basically been a slideshow of all of these different assets working in sequence, working in concert. It's a lot of moving pieces. All those assets will pile up. And so I'm guessing in the interest of optimizing space, functionality, all that stuff, switching to a video, which I would imagine is probably like pre-rendered, would be an easier way to play the animations as opposed to having billions and billions of assets, you know, playing around. So apparently they haven't even done that yet. So I was shocked to read this from Proton because he told me we have 0 of such animations so far. I felt convinced that the Global Dokkan Celebration animations were all videos, but they're not. And you know what? I think in my reaction, I said that the Goku animations seem like the old style, and then after that, the other ones seemed like new ones. I guess that right there kind of proves the point, because if Goku's look like the old format, then all of them would be, because they wouldn't do half of it. I don't know. Anyway, that's one thing. So maybe this could be the finalizing process of the video animations actually being rolled out into the game. Another theory is that they're implementing a brand new mechanic. So last year, I believe it was around September of 2024, in one of his typical data downloads, Proton posted this. Now, I talked about this back then, but I'm going to just refresh you guys' memory on this. This looks like an active skill, right? But the key difference here is that this is not just any old active skill. An active skill would proc on one character. If multiple characters on any given turn have their respective active skills ready to go, you would see this effect, but it would take the time to individually, throw that little flash of light onto each spot. Here, it is landing on all 3 simultaneously. That is not something that we've ever seen in the game. So this quote-unquote new mechanic is still kind of laying dormant in the database. So this could ultimately be what manifests in this new update. But that is just a mechanic change. I don't know if this warrants such a warning. So maybe it's not that. My first thought was Dokkan HD. That was my first thought, because the game, runs fine. The game looks okay. But as the years go by, the age definitely shows in certain ways, mainly the aesthetics, right? The game definitely looks older, especially when you even compare it to its like Legends counterpart, who is 3 years younger. This game, in terms of visuals, you could argue, does not compare to Legends. Legends obviously has more going on with a 3D, the depth of field and all that stuff. But the character art, the ultra animations and things like that, I think collectively most might feel look better than Dokkan, because Dokkan is older. So maybe some sort of an update that just updates the resolution could be what's coming up. The downside to this is that it would make the game so dense that memory, the storage requirements might actually hit the levels of like a AAA console game, which is why maybe my theory might not happen, but it's just the first thing that I was thinking of. And then Proton thought of one more thing. This new update might include a brand new game mode. Remember how they said they were looking for players to test new functionalities, and remember how chain battle made everything lag in the whole home menu. Now, I don't remember this personally. Maybe it did, but I just don't recall. But apparently, when chain battle first debuted, there were some serious home screen navigation issues and all that stuff. And the reason for that was because it was a brand new game mode requesting different things. You needed support characters, you needed a whole new set of things in the game that was accessed through the home screen that just caused the game to take longer to process because there's just a whole lot of stuff going on. Performance was sluggish during those times because of it, so maybe a new game mode will do something similar. I personally can't think of what a new game mode would be. Like, what do you do as far as a new game mode? Like, this is not an event, mind you, a new game mode. So could this potentially even be Battlefield? The original Battlefield, some sort of a tower defense? Maybe something else, but maybe that's what they're ramping up for. So we have no other way of guessing other than just, you know, coming up with ways to connect the dots to previous posts and things like that. But those are some of the prevailing theories out there. Let me see here. As far as the timeline goes, this is all that we have so far. July 24th is likely when part 2 starts. So this is not going to be affecting the Global Dokkan celebration. Sometime after the celebration is over, though, we're probably going to start to see more details. Or maybe during this presentation that we get for part 2, that could potentially be where we start to see some like hints as to what this could mean. Whatever the case may be, I think that this is a good move for the game because this is going to drive a lot of intrigue to the Tanabata celebration. Remember, anniversary caliber celebrations are only happening twice a year. Dokkan Supreme, Global Dokkan celebration. So that alone makes this less of a priority compared to these two. So how do you make this more interesting, more compelling for people to engage in, potentially summon in and be a part of? Well, it's to do things like this. Whatever this new feature is, whatever they're going to be doing in the middle of August in preparation for Tanabata, it's going to be something monumental to the point where it's going to warrant people wanting to come back to the game to also engage in this. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever it is, but at the moment, we really just have no idea. So if you have any theories out there, feel free to chime in. Feel free to let me know what you guys think. But yeah, dude, I got nothing. I think it's Dokkan HD. What if it's like FPS Dokkan? What if they do one of the April Fool's gimmicks that they've shown us yearly, but now they've actually taken the time to develop it and turn it into a thing? What if they actually do Dokkan FPS? What if we get FPS? That Dokkan of the Dead thing was the coolest gimmick we've ever seen for April Fools. It was one shot of Saiyaman chucking a beam or like a key blast at a zombie, and it looked basic, like, you know, compared to other games, but for Dokkan, it looked awesome. Could we get something like that? I don't know. We'll see. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on what we could potentially see coming up for this big time update. What will this mean for your devices? I can tell you myself, as an iPhone 13 Pro Max user, I think I might need to actually upgrade, not only for Dokkan, but also Legends. I've been struggling on Legends. Let me know what you guys think about any possible theories out there. What are some new game modes that you would maybe want to see? Nothing is for sure, nothing is certain, so don't take this and run with it thinking, oh my god, we know what's coming up, because we know nothing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more. So do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned, and I was to Dokkan responsibly.